Hurry in to Old Navy this Saturday and Sunday to get jeans for the whole family on sale. Just $15 for adults, $12 for kids. Plus, redeem your Super Cash starting this Saturday to save even more at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Super Cash valid 6/3 to 6/11. Jeans valid 6/3 to 6/4. Select styles only.
You're tuning in to the Goldilocks presentation of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with Anthony Rodriguez. Anthony Rodriguez, aka Walking Crow, found transformational energy healing through a personal search into healing and was transformed by this experience. He made the decision to pursue training and has since become a certified energy healing practitioner with an emphasis on working with clients in recovery from addiction. His willingness to be open and listen has allowed him to be of service to many who seek a peaceful, serene, and healthier body, mind, and spirit. Call in now if you would like to speak with Anthony. The call-in number is 713-955-0332. Enjoy this transformational and healing show.
Well, good afternoon. Welcome to another Tuesday edition of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. My name is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, and I'm your host. And welcome back. Oh my gosh, it's been an incredible week since the new moon. Everybody's been a little tired. Everybody's been a little crazy. Everybody's been a little disjointed and doesn't know what to do with all the good energy that just enters their life and that they've been waiting for. And oh my gosh, what are we moving forward into? What the heck? And it's only Tuesday. Real quick, 713-955-0332 is the call-in number. Call in and hit 1 so our producer, the lovely Tiffany White, sage woman, knows that you want to talk to me or ask a question or whatever it is that you want. Tell me something. You can, tell me what it is that you know. I don't know. But go ahead and do that. Once again, 713-955-0332 and push when to get out of listen mode. Boy, oh boy, today's show is a doozy. We've had some really good shows the last few weeks. I mean, with the subjects really getting intense. And I have to tell you and apologize for last week. The first 2 to 3 minutes of the show were dead air, and you never want to have dead air on television or radio. And I was dead air because I think I was up in my head someplace. I was all prepared to go on the air, and I missed the intro. And I really apologize for that. So I was just, I was having one of my moments. And I don't have those moments very often, but I was having one last Tuesday. Makes me laugh. Anyway, today's show is about the completion of your intention. Is it your intention or isn't it? And what that means is completing the things that you promise yourself or paying lip service. Are you paying lip service to yourself? Are you paying lip service to others? Are you telling people that you're going to do something or complete something or set an intention for something to get attention instead of intention? Can life be that lonely that you need that much attention? I don't know. But setting the intentions for yourself and coming to completion with it, are you actually doing that? And are you giving yourself, and here's this subject again, are you giving yourself the things that you really want in life? Are you receiving the things that you really want in life? Are you manifesting the things you really want in life? And are you intentionally telling yourself and creating those energies around you, surrounding yourself with the things that you can make happen in your life that you want? Are you? And I always ask myself that question too, because I struggled with that for a long time. I mean, there's a reason that I have lost everything in my life. And it wasn't because I wanted to lose everything. I set an intention to do something. My intention was to step into my medicine. My intention was to step in who and what I am as Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow of Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Excuse me. And that didn't go over too well in my household. I got to tell you, along with trying to find a position or a job that would allow me to do what it is that I do, it didn't go over well. And, my wife decided to do something else with somebody else. Well, I don't know if it was somebody else, but she's not with me anymore, and I lost my home, and I lost everything. And, sometimes that happens, and as painful as that can be, that's okay. Did you hear what I said? As painful as that can be, that is okay, because my life is going to move on in a way that's different. My life is going to move on in a way that's good and that's intended for me. And the same thing is going to happen for her. She made a decision for herself. She set an intention for herself, and she followed through with it. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her for following through with what she set out to do. And, am I sad about the marriage? Yes, but, I have a feeling I'm going to get over it, and I have a feeling so we'll see. And she'll be abundant in relationships and in her life, and hopefully I will be the same. Right, producer Tiffany? Right. Tiffany and I were just texting each other about my life and how I'm producing abundantly. So anyways, completion of your intention, and is it your intention or isn't it? And I talk about that all the time with regards to, people who set go into the new year, and they set they make a resolution. And, if you make a resolution, it's a good idea to maybe follow through and do everything that's necessary to complete and come into completion of that resolution, because you're setting that resolution for a reason. You're setting that resolution because there's something in your life that you want to change. There's something in your life you want to manifest. There's something in your life you want to produce and make whole and make new and make happen in your life. And maybe, a few days or a few weeks or maybe, a month in to that resolution, you've already given up on it and you're moving on to something else because it's Fat Tuesday and you want to give something up for 40 days for what? Because your devotion to Jesus or your devotion to the death of Jesus, not about to the death of yourself, the death of a dying soul that doesn't move forward, it doesn't do what it wants to do, doesn't do what it needs to do because you're busy paying lip service to other people who are paying lip service back at you and saying, yeah, me too, I can, yeah, you too, me too. You know what? I say me too, but I say me too, and you too to good things that are happening, things that I can relate to, things that are positive and moving forward, not to regression, not to being in retrograde and moving backwards, because that's what retrograde means, moving backwards, regressing, going backwards. And do you want to regress? Don't you want to change your life? Don't you want to move forward in a way that's good for you and producing for your life and the life of your family and your partner and whoever? Wouldn't it make your soul proud to hit that goal of 20 pounds and actually make it 25 and not 20? And you feel good because you overshot the mark on the intention. How good is that to feel when you overshoot the mark on your intention? I'm going to tell you, it feels pretty good. Because when I set the intention to become an energy healer, I don't know how many years ago, back in 2011, 2012, I had no idea I was going to be on Blog Talk Radio talking about healing, because that's what I do. I'm an energy healer, and that's how I started. And I work with the energy of the subtle body, and I read people's energy of the subtle body, and I help them walk through and learn to be with differently the emotional issues and the spiritual issues and the psychological issues and the physical issues that manifest as a result of living in the darkness, not being within their body, not being right here, right now, and present. I didn't know that this is what I was going to be doing. I was going to be talking about it, that I was going to have a YouTube channel, that I was going to be making drums, that I was going to be connecting with people around the globe. I connect with people around the globe through this medium, through Blog Talk Radio, and I'm proud of that. Through my YouTube channel, people find me around the world. On Instagram, people are finding me from all across the United States and all around the world through my photos, through my pictures, through the things that I say, through the links that I share with regards to this show and other events that I have. I didn't know I was going to be teaching people how to come into the subtle body energy of their own body, coming out of the darkness into the light, gu to ru, darkness to light. But here I am. I didn't know that I was going to have a men's group called Miscellaneous Men in Self-Care, and I would be helping men come into their voice because they were castrated emotionally as children, and as young adults. and put in their place time and time and time again, where they gave up on themselves and they gave up on their voice, and they stepped into the shame, and they stepped into the embarrassment and the anger and the fear of who and what they have become. I'm here, and I have been here since the day I stepped into my energy healing power, if you will, into that essence. I have stepped into it wholly and fully in all the ways that I can, and I do all these things to help as many people as I can. And that was the intention that I set a few years ago when somebody else said, no, you need to do something else. And I kept moving forward, and my shamans and my teachers and my masters move forward, and they help me to move forward and become who and what I am, and to stand in the light and the being of my soul. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to intention. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to manifestation. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about coming out of the darkness of your brain and your thinking and coming into the light of your soul, your being, the light of who and what you are, what you have always been, always, right here, right now, I get excited when I talk about those things. Right, Producer Tiffany? She's going to text me, right? Wow, I'm on fire today. Oh boy, I've been on fire for quite some time, and I'm really glad that I can live with that fire burning in my belly, burning in my soul. Because there were those who tried to take it away from me. There were those who put me in my place. There are those who abused me. There are those who called me names that I can't repeat on this medium. And I was talking to my roommate about it yesterday. It came up for me yesterday in my thinking. I don't know why it came up from when I was a little kid. People used to refer to me as that derogative term that people refer to black people. But they didn't just call me that term. They called me a black, that term, what that term is. You know what? I think it's okay to say it, because I'm not using it to be offensive to anybody, but it was used to be offensive towards me. And I was called a black nigger. I was dark, short little kid, chubby little kid, and people use that term to refer to me. And I understand. There's not an African American brother of mine or sister can tell me that I don't know and I don't understand, because I understand, because that's the way I was talked to. That's the way I was talked to, and I had to overcome that. And I had to set the intention as an adult to overcome that. And I didn't overcome it until I was well into my adult years. Actually, within the last 10 years, I overcame that sort of abuse and that sort of talk, So I had set an intention to move forward from that life, but not to let that life go, because that life never goes away. It lives in the memory of my body. It lives in my akashic memory. It lives in my soul. And that is the memory that I refer to when I move forward, what I use as a springboard of setting my intentions and changing a life that has been unaltered for a lifetime, and now I am altering my life in ways that most people don't understand, because most people are too afraid to change their life, because somebody might judge them, or somebody might see them, or somebody might hear them, or somebody might shame them, or somebody might not want to love them anymore. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares what somebody else might not want for me? Really, I'm really in that place, because I have to love me more than anybody. I'm the only person that's going to be left with when I wake up in the morning and when I go to bed at night, when I get up in the morning to brush my teeth, and I look in that mirror and wash my face. There I am. They are not there standing there with me when I am doing those things. I hope. So what do they care what I do and how I do it and when I do it and with who? Man. And speaking of caring, and speaking of things, I got to tell you, if you're a listener of this show, or if you pop in every now and again, I have to tell you, and those who may be listening today for the first time, this show, the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine with Anthony Rodriguez Walking Crow, as your host, yo, is on every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Every Tuesday on blogtalkradio.com. You don't have to buy a ticket. You don't have to pass go and and collect $200 or something, you just log on to Blog Talk Radio and find Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine, and here we are. So every Tuesday at 1 p.m. This show is about healing. This show is about changing your life, coming into the being, manifestation of the being that you are. This is about the subtle energy body and changing and helping you to change like I have helped myself to change. So every Tuesday at 1 p.m. And I'm going to go through a list of calendar events that I have coming up. It's going to be a really busy June for me. And on June 3rd, Miscellaneous Men and Self-Care is coming back into being. Saturday at 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Church of Truth Center for Awakening Consciousness at 690 East Orange Grove Boulevard, Pasadena, California, 91104. And that's going to be in the main sanctuary. So men, join us. Come out and join us at 2 o'clock and be with us and come back into your voice, the voice that you always had, the voice that was always yours, and the voice that should always have been before your emotional castration. Ahoo. Don't be ashamed of saying what you have to say to your wife because she might answer you a particular way. Learn how to go home and talk to her in a way that you would like to. Learn how to go home and ask your kids, a question without them answering you with a question. Anybody know what I'm talking about when it comes to that? Some adults do it. I'll ask a question, and some adults will answer me like a 13-year-old with another question. I'm like, what the heck is that? Just answer the question. Hello. Anyways, so the Men in Self-Care Miscellaneous Group, Saturday at 2 p.m. All right. You can go to my Facebook calendar and you can take a look at that on my Facebook page. And I think you may also be able to go to my website to see that, or you can send me an email at anthony@sacreddrummedicine.com or call me at area code 818-442-1717 is my office number, and you can reach out and get more information on that. Also, Transformational Sacred Drum Bath Medicine Journey on Sunday at 11. This Sunday, what's the date on Sunday? I don't even know what the date is. Oh, it's the 4th. How about that? My memory is starting to serve me again. Sunday at 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Hands to Health Wellness Center at 122 East Walnut Avenue, Suite C, Monrovia, California. That is $12. You can go to my Facebook page and you can hit the link, prepay $12, or you can go to you can pay that at the event site on Sunday. All right. So also there's a couple of more things. July 16th, and I'm gonna overlook something for now, but July 16th, Walking Crow, Grounded, Rooted, and Fruited. I'm gonna be doing a talk at the service at a Church of Truth Center for Awakening Consciousness at 11 a.m. I'm gonna sing Spirit In, and I'm gonna do a talk on being grounded and rooted and fruited, and what that means, and what that means in your life, and what that looks like in your life, and how that feels, and how that should happen and take place once we start letting go of those things that hold us bondage for a lifetime. And you know what I'm talking about. We're held bondage by a lot of things. So coming out on the 16th of July, you've got a few weeks for that yet. And Father's Day, June 10th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., come out and join us at the Metaphysical and Artisan Fair in La Crescenta at 4845 Dunsmore Avenue, La Crescenta, California, 91214. I'll be there all day doing drum healings and energy healings. I'll be reading the energy body and doing subtle body readings and doing healing. So come on out to the Metaphysical Artisan Fair at the Center for Spiritual Living at 10 o'clock to 4 p.m. that whole day. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. And you can even set your appointment to come see me and get your healing on and do that sort of thing. All right? And the last but not least, Father's Day at Father's Day Healing for the Masculine Soul with Anthony J. Rodriguez Walking Crow at the Imagine Center on June 18th from 11 to 1 p.m. at 18635 Ventura Boulevard, Tarzana, California, 91356. This is going to be a great event. This is for dads and It's just for those fathers. And what we're going to do, we're going to be doing a short meditation to come into the room. I'll be singing Spirit In as well, which I always do. And I'm going to be doing a 20-minute interactive talk about subtle energy body and how to heal the masculine soul. And that's a lot of what I talk about already, but I'm going to gear that towards men. And I'm going to also gear it toward those single moms who raise their kids, or who I think are badasses. And, there are single moms that are also dads. And we're going to do a warm-up by opening the chakra subtle body energy system, and we're going to be sharing and blending and exchanging energies with your partner, with whoever is there, and that way you get a feeling of what energy is like if you haven't felt that before. And we'll be doing 20-minute shamanic drumming, journey drumming, and meet the spirit guides, spirit animals, and clear and heal. And we're going to open sharing of the journey experience if desired, and you can talk about what it is that you experienced in your journey through the drumming. And then we're going to close out by singing spirit out and back to where spirit comes from and where spirit watches over us when they're not right here, right now, in the presence of this room. So that's a long list of events that I have going on, and boy, I'm excited. And but all those events are about what we're talking about. Those events just didn't happen because so I put them on the calendar. No, they just didn't happen in that way. I set an intention. I set an intention a long time ago about what it is that I wanted to do and how I was going to step into my medicine. And there are a lot of different types of examples and different ways of how I can do that. And even though those are different ways of stepping into my intention and completion of my intention for myself, and others, there it is. There it is on a calendar for everybody to see and understand that, wow, Anthony's a busy guy. And I have clients in between that. And I have a part-time job in between that. And here at home where I'm living, I'm doing a lot of yard work for my roommate, which she needs done. And, man, it's been a real physical challenge for me to do that. But, doing that feels so good when I look across the yard and I see that all the oleander is cut down and, we're safe from fire for now, you know what I mean? Because we live in the hills in Los Angeles, in the foothills. And that's a beautiful thing. It's a lot of hard work, but boy, to be able to complete and set the intention and complete that, it just makes me happy because I know that I can. And guess what? So can you. And when will you be willing to complete your intention and stop the double talk and the lip service that you pay yourself? Make a list and write down the things that you want to do. Make a list and write down the things instead of telling somebody else. Put it on your refrigerator. Hang it on your refrigerator. Set that intention. What is it that you want to do for yourself, and how do you want to do it? Do you need to be talking about things that you're never going to complete? Do you really? Because, man, I got to tell you, spinning in my head about things that I want to do doesn't get them done. Talking about things that I want to do doesn't get it done. It doesn't get it done. Thinking about it, talking about it doesn't do anything. Doing is doing, and when are you going to do something about the things that you say that you want to do for you? I'm going to ask you that question till I'm blue in the face, because I am not blue in the face from asking my heart that question. I am not blue in the face from asking my soul that question, or my third chakra, or my second chakra, or my ground, or my root chakra. There's a lot of people teaching the chakras out there. And the other day I was reading something about, they were talking about root chakra and what you should do, and blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? Just because you're in your root chakra and you're manifesting doesn't mean that it's always about money. It's always about stuff. Sometimes it's about security and safety of who and where you are and what you are and how you stand in it. And I believe in that. Because when the other comes, because we're able to stand in who and what we are, in our foundation of who we and what we are, not a shaky foundation, but in our whole foundation, we'll be able to accept those things and be with those things of abundance in a better way, in a different way, in a way that's not selfish, in a way that's not in it for the first time, like somebody who comes into money for the first time, or as a gift, and then goes on a crazy spending spree because they have this money, like those who win the lotto. There's always some joker who says to somebody who's won millions in the lotto, hey, I know how you can make more money, and it's usually a stupid dope deal, and then somebody ends up broken in jail. Don't do that. Be happy with what it is that you have, and learn how to be in your root, learn how to be in your foundation, your security, your safety of who and what you are, a whole. Never mind the other stuff, because once we get into that root, the connection to our root through our second chakra, we start to understand that we are connected, and yes, we can, and yes, we will, and yes, we do. Aho. How can I set my intention? How can I step into the fire of my third chakra, of my fire, my fuego? I can, I will, I do. How will I step into the power of that? Through connecting through my second chakra and connecting to my root, and understand that I'm a well-rooted tree, aho, and that I love. And because I love me, I'm going to breathe breath into that fire and stoke that fire and grow that fire a whole, and warm my heart and clear that fifth chakra, that voice a whole, and speak clearly and set the intention of what I've been thinking about for a lifetime, for somebody else's lifetime. And if you're speaking about from somebody else's lifetime, like your parents, like your teachers, and all those people who want you to set an intention for yourself that isn't yours, it's theirs, the heck with that. Is that what you really want to do? Is that who you really want to be? Do you want to be a parrot of somebody else? Do you want to mimic somebody else? I see it all day long in the political system. I don't care if you're red or blue. There's just a bunch of parroting mimics that say, they all spin the same story, say the same things, and blah, 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 community, blah, 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 when they're all in it for themselves, because those who get into it from the left or from the right, get into it with good intentions and become about the special interest, and you know it. And if you don't have a problem with me saying that, call me and we'll talk about that on the air in front of everybody. Aho, because I see you, our medicine sees you, and we know what you're doing, and we see you. I don't care if you're red or blue. Aho. I don't belong to any of those pathetic parties, and this isn't about parties. It's about setting intentions for myself about what I want, and I want nothing to do with either one of those parties or either one of those entities that get into service in that way and stay in it for all the wrong reasons. They get in it for all the righteous reasons, all the good reasons, and they stay in it for all the wrong reasons because they change their intention of what it is they want. In fact, they don't change the intention. They step out of the intention, and they start hiding from you exactly what it is they're doing politically and socially, and what they're doing, what they were doing for the community. Are you doing for the community? The community sees you because the community is marching on you, Washington, Sacramento, Los Angeles. Really? Okay, I said my piece. That's about as much as I'm going to say politically, because I don't like those people, and I could care less, what those people do. But don't lie to us. That's it. So anyway, setting my intention. Well, what's an example of setting my intention? Here's an example of setting my intention. I had another healer that I met with on Saturday, Jennifer Escalera, and if you haven't heard of her, look her up, or I may even post something about her within my Facebook page, or even on my internet site. And I think I have, because I did an interview with her where she interviewed me. And she told me that she wanted a drum. She was setting the intention that she wanted to make a drum. So she ordered a kit, and I had her to meet me where I was house sitting this weekend, because I do that too. What don't I do, right? Right. So she set her intention. I set the intention to get together with her on Saturday, but on about Wednesday, I got a wild hair, and I thought, well, if I'm going to make a drum with Jennifer, you know what? I gave my drum away to a beautiful young boy named Valentino. And Valentino tells me that he's Sitting Bull, and I believe him. Well, how would a 6-year-old know anything about Sitting Bull and the indigenous cultures of here in the Americas? And this little boy does. This little boy reads on it, and this little boy understands it. And this is being downloaded into this little boy because I believe he is Sitting Bull. So my drum, my 12-inch drum with the crow that I painted with the crow on it and the 4 directions, symbolically on a background of orange, on a field of orange for connection to others. I gave him that drum about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, and did a little ceremony. But when I set the intention to sit down with Jennifer and make her drum, I decided I was going to make a drum, and I did. And this is the sound of my intention. I don't play around when it comes to my intention, and anybody who knows me knows that this is true. So, you know, I set my intention like on Tuesday or Wednesday, and on Saturday morning before she got there, I was making a drum. I was soaking the skin from Saturday from Saturday morning, and Sunday morning I was making the drum, and that's the end result right there of setting the intention of what it is that I wanted for myself, what it is that I wanted to do. And it's not just because I wanted a drum, or just not just because, you know, I needed to do this. This is a part of my medicine. It's transformational sacred drum medicine, and the drum is symbolic of voice for me. The drum is symbolic of how my people communicated hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, using the drum. Using a drum, beating on a hollow tree. You know, they communicated with people from canyon to canyon and mountain to mountain and community to community. And it was a beautiful way of doing that. So I set the intention, and there's the drum as proof of my intention. And now that intention, it just increases the intention that I'm developing for my practice. And I was fortunate enough to see a friend of mine, Adriana Sanchez, she was a young lady that was, I've known her since she was about 6 years old. And she's come into my life recently, and she's wanting to do events of a spiritual nature, of the kind of work that I do in Mexico at some resorts. And she approached me about it, and I said yes to what she was asking, and I set an intention, and I'm going to manifest those events with her at some point, and you will hear no more about that. But I'll be doing, we're going to go down to Mexico, and we're going to do some events, and we're going to carry this message and spread this medicine to those who want it, not necessarily to those who need it, because there's a lot of people who need it, and they're too busy not sending any intentions or breaking their resolutions, or giving up something for on Fat Tuesday for Lent again, which they're not going to complete. They never complete. They give up chocolate or they give up potato chips, but they never give up anything significant. So giving up something significant means that I will have to go to Mexico. I will have to put hours in and the time in to make this thing happen, to make this event happen. Just like I put in the hours to make the artisan and the healing and artisan fair last weekend, 10 days ago. That took a lot of work. That took months of preparation. It just didn't happen on its own, and people put up pop-ups and people appeared and things happened. It didn't just happen like that. An intention was set by me. I shared the intention with my partner, Dr. Teresa Smith, and she said yes to the intention. And because she said yes to the intention and made it her intention, this fair happened. And the events that I plan in my life happen. And these events that happen in Mexico are going to happen because I say so. I proclaim it right here, right now. I proclaim it right here, right now, and I say it's going to happen, and it will happen. And Amy says it's going to happen, and it's going to happen. This is a beautiful young lady. She is a LAPD police officer, and I hadn't seen her for a lifetime, because I was off doing my life, and we came into each other's life again. And she told me what she was doing. She takes a lot of heat within the department because she's a spiritual person. She meditates and she does yoga and she does all these different things. And the mentality of the Los Angeles Police Department is something else. And they like to beat up on the weak, just like the Sheriff's Department of Los Angeles. Yes, I'm saying it. I said it. Come get me. Come arrest me. I don't care. I got something to say. But her intention has been set of what she wants for herself and what she's going to do for herself and what she's going to do for her community of police officers. And she wants to bring meditation into the department. She wants to take healing into the department. She wants to take a different way of being and a different way of learning and manifesting into the department. It has nothing to do with brutality and that sort of thing. And picking on the weak and picking on others, because that happens to her. She's been picked on in a department. She shared that with me. people make fun of her. I know what it's like to be made fun of. I know what that's like because I told you earlier in this show, not even 10 minutes into the show, that I was called, and I excuse my language, a black nigger as a child. And, you know, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for, you know, making me feel that way. But that's over and done with, you know. So my friend Adriana has set her intention about what she's going to do in the department. I told her I was going to help her, and I will do whatever I can to help her because I know that doing what I can to help her is going to help me as a medicine man. Doing whatever I can for her to bring those events in Mexico into fruition, for others to heal and others to be a part of this medicine, I say yes to the setting of that intention because it's going to change her. Adriana, it's going to change myself, and it's going to change all those we come in contact with. And even those who help to put on the event in that country, it's going to help change them because there's some of this medicine they've never been privy to, and we're going to bring it into those doors, into those places, into those resorts. On Friday afternoon, evening, I did the ceremony, Sweat Lodge, with my brothers, and a friend of mine was there. I can't talk about what happens in Sweat Lodge, but I can talk about some things that happen around. And this really doesn't have to do with Sweat Lodge, but I saw my friend there, my friend Mike. And Mike is a Marine, an ex-Marine who wrote a book about PTSD, Semper Fi. And Mike has been telling me for quite some time that he wants to take me onto the campus of Camp Pendleton, the Marine base down in Camp Pendleton, to help his brothers who suffer from PTSD. And we're trying to figure out how to make that happen, how to make that manifest. And I truly believe that that's going to happen because we are already setting our intentions of what that can look like and what that can be. And because we have friends who have horses and raise horses, and we're looking at doing a horse therapy with them. And what a beautiful thing to give a man or a woman who has served this country, who is now suffering as a result of serving this country. And they talk about serving this country and fighting for our freedom. Well, I have an opinion on fighting for our freedom and what they're actually fighting for, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm proud of people who say, you know what, I'll do this. You stay here and I'll go do this, and I'll go put my life on the line to help others and to do what it is we need to do around the world to help. And I thank them and I honor them for Memorial Day yesterday for doing that. Well, Mike wants to give these men horse therapy. Mike wants me to come in and work with these men and women, I apologize, women, to do these sorts of things. So we have set our intention. Now, I have to ask myself, and I'm going to say to you, do I need to put more on my plate to do more? No, please. But guess what? Guess what? I will, because I am in my abundance of who and what I am, in the medicine of what I offer, a whole of what I offer you, what I can offer those soldiers, men or women, what I can offer to that horse when I show up into the stable and we start to put all this together, a whole. What I get to offer everybody involved, whether we're in Mexico, whether we're in Camp Pendleton, wherever we are doing what we do, standing in the medicine of the intention that we set our home. I become a very powerful person, very popular person, and I'm not saying that to be powerful or popular. I'm saying that because there's people out there who will find me. There's people out there that need me. There's people out there that want me because I set my intention and I was willing to give up the things that needed to go for me to step into that place. I hope. And I want to thank those who recommend me, and I want to thank those who pass on my card, and thank those who tell people about me. And speaking of which, on Sunday afternoon, I had a client, I've seen him for the second time. And this gentleman found my card, he said, and he's an ex-military guy. He found my card at a place called Charlie's Coffee House in South Pasadena. Now, if you don't know South Pasadena, or if you know South Pasadena, you might not ever see this place. You just might drive by it and never know that it was there. But I know it's there because I used to live near there, and I used to go in there, and I would get a coffee every now and again. I would go in there and leave my business card. Well, when he told me, and I asked him where he found my card, he told me, I said, oh, yeah, I remember leaving cards there. But this is the card that he was carrying around was a black card that I hadn't used for 3 or 4 years. It was one of my original cards, and he'd been carrying that card around for quite some time. So he had set an intention of calling me, of doing something for himself and calling me. And he never did, because I know he expressed that he was seeing other shamans and he was seeing other healers and Reiki healers because he wanted to get a feel for what this was like. And he came to see me, and he had his experience. He came back on Sunday, and it was great to sit and talk with him because he was domesticated a particular way, in the way of a military upbringing, where he's in the military, and they do things in a particular way, in an order. There's order to everything they do, and that's not a bad thing. There's some people that need order in their lives, and I am for sure am one of them, but I'm not. And I told him I'm not the military type. I'm a spiritual warrior, and I help people to be present right here, right now. When they're suffering through PTSD or childhood abuse or sexual abuse or physical abuse or mental abuse, whatever the abuse is, or whether it's fibromyalgia from PTSD from being molested. And this is what I do. I am a spiritual warrior. And what this young man is doing right here, right now, and his family doesn't understand, he told me. He's stepping into his place, in his embodiment of a spiritual warrior. He is stating his intention every time he comes to see me, every time he sends me an email to say hello. He is setting his intention of where it is he's stepping into. And I'm going to ask you one more time, what is it that you want to step into that you are afraid to set your intention for and of? And when will you stop being afraid of what others think and what others care? And when will you give yourself the medicine that you really, truly want and need? When? I was always told as a child, as a shamed child, that I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. And even my brothers and sisters, up until recently, not even weeks ago, they have something to say about the way I do things and how I do things. I mean, they all have homes, they all have families, they have children. Well, at least two of my siblings have children, and 3 of them have homes, and 4 of them have homes, because my oldest brother lives with my mom. He watches over her, he takes care of her. I'm grateful for that. Thank you, David. And but I'm the one who doesn't, and I'm the one who has the least. And I'm poor in monetary things, I'll say, but I'm rich in everything else that I do because I stand in it. I'm willing to give. I'm willing to give from what I don't have. I'm willing to give of everything that I have. I'm willing to give when I don't think I have enough. And that, for me, is being rich. That, for me, is being abundant. That, for me, is standing in my foundation, my root, and my tree, the root of my tree, the root of my well-being, my root of my security, my safety. Because that's the understanding that tells me I know that I have enough. I know that I have enough. You can't sell me that package, America, about what it is to be a rich person. I don't need a 60-inch TV. I don't need a 30-inch TV. I don't need a phone, a pad, a computer, an expensive car. I don't need a lot of these things that America says I need to be whole and to be somebody, because I'm already somebody. I was somebody long before there was any of this stuff. Generations ago, in my lineage, And when I stepped into the energy, the power of my lineage, I stepped in at a deeper level, deeper spiritual level, where I realized I didn't have to go to church to become who it is that I've always been. I believe in a creator great spirit. I believe in the Christ consciousness. I believe in the Buddha. I believe in Muhammad. I believe in Shri Krishna, Radhe Govind. I believe in Om Mateo, Om Mateo, the divine feminine, the duality of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, of which I step into wholly and fully in my root, in my feet, in my connection to others, in my connection to self, and in my fire and through my heart, the way I love myself, and through my voice, through my resonance, through my my vibration, through my calling. God bless my mother. She always, when I was 16, I had a job at a place called the Thrifty Drugstore, which is now Rite Aid. It's Rite Aid. And Rite Aid still sells thrifty ice cream, which a lot of people still get excited about, because you can go in there and get a scoop for like $14 now, I think. Because back in the day, you can go in and get a single, a double, a triple cone for a nickel, a dime, or 15 cents. And that was a big deal. That was a lot of ice cream for a little bit of money. Well, it didn't seem like a lot of money at the time, but I guess it was a lot of money, 15 cents. And I worked for a thrifty drugstore when I was a kid. When I think I was 16 or something, maybe 17, I don't even remember. But I worked there, and every time that, a job situation changed for me or something over my lifetime, my mother used to say, you should have stayed at Thrifty's. You should have stayed at Thrifty's. You should have stayed at Thrifty's. That wasn't a job for somebody who wants a career, not me. It wasn't a job for a career. It was, I was there scooping ice cream, and I didn't even stock shelves. I don't even know what I did there, but mostly what I did was scooped ice cream, and I think I was the checker. I don't even know. I don't even remember. And that kind of thinking, that kind of mentality of keeping you in a place because it's safe doesn't serve anybody. Well, it does serve. There's those who don't know how to be in their foundation, the root of their foundation, the root of their being, the root of security, safety, home. There's those who don't know how to stand in that, so they need that kind of security and safety and money to show, I guess, to feel comfortable and to show to others that they can too. And I'm sure that I do need that. I would like to have that, but that's not my calling. My calling is to bring my voice to the people. My calling is to bring my medicine to the people, medicine and the voice that I didn't know I had up until 2011. I didn't know that I was going to be the person that I am becoming now, the person that sits before you right here, right now, speaking through this microphone. I hope. And by the way, I've been talking so much. 713-955-0332 is the call-in number. And if you want to call in, push 1 to get out of listen mode. And tell me how you feel. Tell me if you want a healing. Tell me if you want a chakra reading. Tell me what it is that you want and how I can help you. Because truly, because I set my intention. I set my intention for what it is that I want and what it is that I do and who it is that I am. I set my intention of those things that I can say to you in and of myself. I hope. Standing in my feet, standing in my power, standing in my power, in my fire. How can I help you and what can I do for you? Because that's what a life of service does. That's what a life of service says. Oh, how can I help you, not how you can help me? There's a lot of people who could probably help me out there to do a lot of different things. But what I know is we are going to help each other do a lot of different things. Just like I said, the intention of setting this, of making this drum. I didn't make this drum on my own. These materials showed up on my doorstep in a particular way because I did a particular thing, because I set that intention. Because I set that intention for this drum and for me and for my friend Jenica Escalera. And speaking of which, Escalera means ladder. And I'm climbing the ladder of a higher spiritual self, a whole. So thank you, Jennifer, for coming into my life and reminding me of that unknowingly. I find medicine in everything, everybody, all folks. I'm always aware of what's going on around me, and I'm paying attention to words and names and signs and symbols and omens and those things that I need that show themselves to me as medicine that I step into, that I speak to, and it's because I do that others get to step in that medicine in a new way too, because they listen to me say that. They listen to me do that. They watch me. And there's also people who, and my friend Adriana was one of them. She said, I saw you the other day. And when she was talking, but when people say that to me, they say that I stored over them. They're walking or driving or they're out someplace and they come across crow medicine. And they think of me right away, and I'm flattered and I'm honored. And I'm honored, and I stand in what I say and what I do and who I am and how I do that and what I am. When they say to me, oh, I saw you the other day, I saw Crow came to me. You know, and I said, yes, I came to you. I'm always with you. You know, and who says that to somebody? Who says that? Who will support somebody that you don't know? And I do that all the time at the store that I work at in the vitamin department. You know, there's people who come in there, they ask for a particular thing, and they find me, and we have a conversation, and sometimes they stand there in tears. And I say to them, because they don't have a mother or a father or both or whatever the case may be, and I say to them, because I've set my intention for who and what I am and what I do, and I set my intention really, I don't pay lip service, I say to them, because you have seen me here today, right, because you were right here right now and you are with me right here right now, I want you to know that I will stand behind you and support you. I will stand next to you and I will walk in front of you and pull you along whenever you need me. All you have to do is think to my face and what I look like. Say my name. Call me in and I will be there with you. And I can say that to him because I have set the intention of healing. I have set the intention of being. I have set the intention and stopped paying lip service to myself, to those things that I no longer need and I no longer want, and I want bigger and better things, and I want to share them with you because you deserve to heal in the way that you want to have the life that you've always wanted to have, to be the way that you've always wanted to be, to step away from those well-meaning people with well-meaning intentions. Well-meaning intentions. Well-meaning people who say they love us and the things that they want for us that hurt us for a lifetime. And I'm not holding their feet to the fire. I'm just saying that it wasn't good for us. It may have been good for them, but it's not good for us. And I have examples of that in my own family. You know, I have people in my family who were, they went to law school and they didn't do it for themselves. You know, they never became that lawyer, that attorney. They became something else, and they did something that made them happy, and they live in a place that makes them happy, and they live a lifestyle that makes them happy and makes them wonderful people, and they are wonderful people. They were that before they went off to become an attorney or go do that sort of thing. But that intention wasn't theirs. That intention was somebody else's. That intention was, you're going to do this or else. And it's like, that's not the way you give to your kids. Sorry. That's not the way, if I had children, I would want it to them. And maybe I'm talking out of place. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. My producer, Tiffany, White Sage Woman, has children. Maybe she can straighten me out and tell me when I say something like that. Because, I don't know what it is to have kids and know what for them, But I know if I had kids, and because I was a child of somebody else's child, I wanted things for myself that I wish they would have helped me achieve. But it's too late for the wishing. It's too late for any of that now. Now I step into what I want to, the way that I want to, and I don't care what their opinion is on it. Do I care that they love me? Yes. Do I care about their opinion of me, about what I'm doing? No, not at all. Because what I really know is, and what I really understand is, they don't understand what it is that I'm doing. I don't think they have any idea, really, because I really don't put my hands on my family. I don't work with my family in that way. I can direct them to somebody, and I can give them advice if they ask me, but they don't want my advice, really. They're going to get upset with me when I give them my bit of advice, which has happened. People ask me about how to lose weight, and I'm like, I start to tell them, and they'll say things to me like, why do you put me down? I'm like, well, I didn't ask you for information. You asked me, and I'm not putting you down. I'm trying to help you. And I feel bad for them because they hear something different. I don't know what they're hearing. And, well, maybe I do because I would live that. And I walk through that. And I no longer am willing to step in that pile, if you will. I'm not going to step in that doo-doo of the old way of living and old way of being. And is that true all the time? No. Just because I set my intention that I'm not going to be a certain way anymore? No, not by any means. Because you know what? Hi, human. I say it all the time. Hi, human. I am who I am. And just because I'm willing to not live like other people want me to live, doesn't mean that I'm not going to step in my own mess every now and again, no matter what the case is. No matter what the case is. So, I want to thank everybody for coming today. We're coming to the end of the show in another 6 minutes or so. And, wow, it's been an interesting time for me. And, there's so much happening. And I already know, and I spoke to this last week, and I want my producer Tiffany to know that I may be doing shows that not from LA. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be globetrotting in my very short and near future. Not short future, excuse me. In my very near future. I have a long future, as a matter of fact. And I'll be doing my shows from different cities, in different places, in different energies, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And I'm ready and I'm prepared to go. And I just have to get my car tuned up, have the transmission checked, and do all those things. But I'm ready to pile my drums and my clothes in my car and sleep in my car if I have to do what I have to do. Because, I can talk all I want, set my intention and talk all I want on Blog Talk Radio on the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with your host, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. Me, I can do all the talking I want, but so what? So what until I move into the doing, get into the being. In saying that, I had a young woman reach out to me from San Antonio, Texas. And she was asking me all weekend about my medicine and about the drums and do I sell drums and and I don't sell drums. But that isn't out of the realm of possibility. And she drums for horses. She drums for horsemen. And she invited me to go out there to some point. I let her know that I'm going to be in my car and I'll be covering the Southwest in my car, and then I will come to San Antonio. And when I asked her where she was from, right before I knew she was from San Antonio, Texas, I asked her and she told me, and I started laughing. Of course she's from San Antonio, St. Anthony. And if anybody knows anything about St. Anthony has a particular medicine. St. Anthony is the finder of lost things, the finder of lost children. How about that? The finder of lost things. And I know that as the named young man of a patron of St. Anthony, I'm named after St. Anthony, that I found my child. I set my intention and had a soul retrieval with an amazing shaman named Amanda Folger. And she helped me to step into my child and be with him and help me to unite that child with the man and become whole and present in this place of being and who and what I am and who I've always been, a whole. And when I did that soul retrieval, that child came down into my arms, and the child was hiding from shame in a tree, and I couldn't understand why she had told me that. Amanda Folger told me that because I was there. I traveled there with her, and she said yes. And I remember, and she told me that it was he was hiding. I was hiding in a tree from shame from when I was flunked as a second grader. I went to Catholic school, and for some reason they have the authority to know something without having a credential. I'm no teacher, but I'm a teacher. Anyways, but so am I. And I was flunked. And what I understand about what they didn't understand about me is that I was bored in their system. And so I was held back for a year, and my friends went on without me. And I lived in the gray area for a long time because I didn't have a place. I was able to step into the new place with this new kid that came from behind me. And I wasn't in the same place with those kids that were in front of me because I was no longer a part of the third grade. I was, again, still in the second grade. And that affected me for a lifetime. Does it affect me now? No, because I set my intention. I want to take the time to thank my producer, Reverend Tiffany White, Sage Woman, for the beautiful job that she does, not just for myself, for my show, but for everybody's show on her network, on Goldilocks Network. And I want to thank all you for coming and listening every Tuesday, the Tuesday edition of the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show with myself, Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow. And this has been about setting the intention and being in the completion of your intention. I beg you, and I don't have to beg you, I ask you, step into your intention. Stop paying yourself lip service. Be the person that you have always wanted to be and who were always meant to be. Aho, thank you for coming. This is Anthony Rodriguez, Walking Crow, signing off for the Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine Show. Aho.
Hurry into Old Navy this Saturday and Sunday to get jeans for the whole family on sale. Just $15 for adults, $12 for kids. Plus, redeem your Super Cash starting this Saturday to save even more at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Super Cash valid 6/3 to 6/11. Jeans valid 6/3 to 6/4. Select styles only. Hurry into Old Navy this Saturday and Sunday to get jeans for the whole family on sale. Just $15 for adults, $12 for kids. Plus, redeem your Super Cash starting this Saturday to save even more at Old Navy and OldNavy.com. Super Cash valid 6/3 to 6/11. Jeans valid 6/3 to 6/4. Select styles only.